Okay, so I rolled out this slab already over there, and I brought it over to my table. Now, when I pull this over from the slab roller, it's very thick. We don't want it this thick for this project either, just like the drop plates. So we want to roll it out a little bit thinner. Now, one thing that should be something you think about is I can't roll it this way because I'm not going to hit my rolling my slats very well. Or I mean, yeah. So you got to watch, you got to see which way you're going. So one thing is roll in the direction that you've got your slats on either side pretty well. You should be standing up to do this. This is just going to be the best way to get this done. Okay. And when you run out of room, you can flip this with your fabric. Remember that I kind of stick the fabric to the surface right here so I don't get any wrinkles in it. I put my slats back there where I want them. I can roll it out. I've seen some of you, you're not taking this far enough. Remember, your rolling pin should hit just this. Now, one thing that you can do on this is I don't need this large of a slab for one whole thing. So I'm going to cut this in half. Again, be careful not to cut too deep. You'll cut the fabric. So I'm going to lay this to the side. And I'm going to flip this again. You got to be thorough about this. So I'm going to flip this once more. My slats back on it. Okay. And now I've got a nice slab. I'll roll the other one as well. I'll show you about how we want to store those later. Okay, so now here's the next step. Let's pretend this is my slab. This slab textured tile quilt should be either 10 by 5 or 5 by 10. That's the minimum stuff. Okay, so I've got a ruler here. I'm going to make my base for this first. So I want to make sure my base is, I'm going to do the 10-inch across. So I'm going to just do little marks where that is, so I'm sure I meet that goal. Now, you can do lots of different shapes. You can do an oval. You can do something that's a little funky. You can make it uneven. I'm going to do something like this. So my base is a little irregular, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Now, don't make a base that has got too many twists and turns in it. You know, don't make a base that goes all crazy. But you can be a little oval or a little off center somehow. Be creative with that. All right, now I've got this here as my base. And what I did with my other slabs, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to transfer now my one slab to newspaper. Because I only want to be rolling out the clay on the fabric. I don't want to be working on that all the time. Okay, and when you're done with the fabric, keep in mind, kind of fold it up and put it back in the bin. Okay, now I have all these textures here. Just like we did with the drop plates, employ lots of different ideas for textures. I'm going to create a couple different panels on this. And like for this one, I'm going to lay this right here. Maybe some of you have already used something like this before already with the drop plates, but we're doing the same thing. We're prepping the slab with a bunch of textures. We're going to do lots of them though. So I'm going to use that. Another thing that you can use, there's some rollers over there and some of the tool bins. So be inventive, be creative. use some different ideas. Here's the wallpaper one. Get the textures kind of all over. All right, so I have 3 of these now. Right now, day 1, these are really flimsy yet, so it's going to be hard to build with these. So I'll show you storing these here right now. When you go to store these, you'll want to store them overnight. So you want to roll out your slab, put your textures down one day. And so I'm going to put this tray right here, put my textures here. If I have more than this, I'll use some more newspaper. And you can just kind of stack this up as you go. And you can stack this like this, okay? And then put the plastic bag all over it. And what will happen is, I'm not going to spray this down. What will happen is the newspaper will take some moisture out of those. And then by the next day, they'll be ready to be built with, okay? So that's how you're going to handle this. So, you know, it's kind of a step-by-step process. Now I'm going to go back to my base, which I've already rolled out. So it has dried out a little bit, just enough. Okay. And